Good afternoon and welcome to State Television for News at Noon. I am Tiwalade Faisal. President Bola Tinubu has told French investors that the country is open for business, saying his government is creating an enabling environment for them to thrive. Tinubu said this during a joint briefing with the French President Emmanuel Macron at the Elysee Palace. The Nigerian president underscored his country's youth who are skilled, educated and ready to be trained as part of the reasons French investors should look forward to the West African nation. He said Nigeria is working on diversifying its economy away from fossil fuels and believes France can play a key role in that move. President Tinubu thanked the French government for providing stability for Nigerian businesses in the European country. And now the Senate has passed the full tax bill for second reading through vote. President Bola Tinubu transmitted the full tax reform bills to the National Assembly for consideration on October 3rd. The move generated controversy with the northern governors and other stakeholders kicking against the tax reforms. Worried by the situation, the presidency explained that the bills were not targeted at any particular region, but to develop the country. The Senate passed through the second reading a bill for an act to establish the Joint Revenue Board, the Tax Appeal Tribunal, and the Office of the Tax Ombudsman as part of Tinubu's comprehensive tax reform package. The proposed legislation seeks to harmonize, coordinate, and resolve disputes arising from revenue administration in Nigeria. The session saw lawmakers deliberating on the general principles of the tax reform bills. Earlier, the Senate had gone into a closed-door session to discuss the four bills transmitted by President Tinubu on September 3rd, 2024, following the recommendations of the Taiwo Oyedele-led Tax Reforms Committee. While the reforms were generally acknowledged as critical to overhauling Nigeria's tax system and reducing the tax burden on citizens, Senator Ali Ndume expressed reservations about the timing and certain provisions of the bill. The presentation of Ogun State 2025 Appropriation Bill to the State House of Assembly by the State Governor Prince Abeokuta, earlier scheduled for Friday 29th November 2024, has been postponed to a later date. A release signed by the clerk head of Legislative Service, Mr. Shakiru Adebaki, stated that a new date for the presentation of the annual budget would be announced later. The clerk said the Assembly regretted the inconveniences arising from the postponement. The chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasir Kwara, has announced plans to conduct Nigeria's population and housing census in 2025, nearly 2 decades after the last census in 2006. He made this known during the 2024 anniversary of the Nairobi Summit on the International Conference on Population and Development held in Abuja. The announcement came 18 years after Nigeria's last census in 2006, despite the United Nations recommendation for countries to conduct population count every 10 years. Previous attempts to hold the census in 2023 were postponed under the administration of the former President Muhammadu Buhari. The delay was attributed to the desire to let the incoming administration take ownership of the process. Speaking at the event, Kwara emphasized the significant impact of the delay, particularly in hampering informed decision-making and effective resource allocation. The NPC chairman also highlighted the need for accurate data to address pressing issues in rural and undeserved areas, and noted that Nigeria's inability to conduct timely census had hindered progress in advancing sexual and reproductive health rights, eliminating gender-based violence, and promoting inclusivity. Ogun State Governor Prince Abeokuta has charged the Tai Solarin University of Education, Ijebu-Ode, to deepen collaboration with research institutions in areas that align with his administration's focus on mechanized agriculture and agro-industrial development. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ghani report.
Traditional University of Education, Ijagun in Ijebu-Ode, was established in 2005 and is one of the institutions that have steadily progressed in all aspects. The 16th convocation ceremony of the institution marks another significance of its leadership roles in promoting entrepreneurship education among Nigeria institutions. Governor Dapo Abiodun, represented by his deputy, Engineer Moimo Solakoyedele, congratulated the institution, particularly the graduates, for their commitment and dedication to academic excellence, saying the citadel of learning has demonstrated capacity for nurturing the young generation that would not only change the current circumstances in the education sector, but also help to improve the economic growth of the country. The governor also commended the institution for its diversification into disciplines like pure arts, pure sciences and social sciences, adding that their diversification into the fields further underscores the dynamic and responsive approach of the institution to addressing societal needs.
Today's convocation goes beyond the celebration of academic accomplishments. It symbolizes the progress and enduring impact of TASO on education and society at large. Every one of us present is part of this extraordinary success story.
Also, in continuation of the state government's reward for academic excellence, a sum of 500,000 naira was given to the best graduating student, while a sum of 2 million naira was given to the overall best graduating student, Abdul Latif Adedamola Adedeji, who graduated with a CGPA of 4.91 from Department of Mathematics.
In our usual style, we'll be giving each of the first-class graduates 500,000 naira each. And Abdul Latif will get an additional 2 million naira.
Governor Abiodun also awarded the sum of 2.5 million naira to the oldest PhD holder, Dr. Onlofowokon Bolaji Titilola, who bagged his PhD at the age of 85 years.
Please join me to acknowledge and congratulate 85-year-old Dr. Bolaji Titilola Onlofowokon, PhD in Educational Media and Technology. This is an unprecedented milestone for this institution, for Ogun State, and for Nigeria. And it is a great personal achievement for Papa. The recognition of your genuine quest for knowledge, we're going to present you with a cash gift of 2.5 million naira.
Guest lecturer, who is also Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, represented by Professor Ibrahim Adeyoju, underscores the need for innovation and technology for education revitalization.
I want to ask us all now to imagine a future where every classroom, from Ijebu-Ode to Kafanchan, from Owerri to Yola, has access to digital learning resources.
The Vice Chancellor, Traditional University of Education, Professor Oluwole Banjo, and Pro-Chancellor of the University, Professor Rahman Bello, while appreciating Governor Dapo Abiodun for its support to the institution, added that the reward to outstanding students during the convocation ceremonies of the institution has continued to be a great inspiration and motivation not only to the student but also to their parents and guardians.
The world doesn't just need talented individuals. It needs compassionate, resilient, and ethically minded leaders. It needs innovators who prioritize sustainability and equity, critical thinkers who seek truth, and change makers who value diversity and inclusion.
Change with an open mind and never stop your dreams and strive for excellence in everything you do.
Best overall graduate student Abdul-Latif Adedamola gave his remarks on the feat he achieved.
Like a warrior with limited resources, I learned to maximize every opportunity and persevere, knowing that every step forward was a step closer to the life I envisioned.
All programs being run in the institution, including postgraduate programs, are fully accredited by National Universities Commission. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
History has again been made in Ogun State as Bolaji T.T. Lola Onofowoko backed PhD degree at the age of 85 to show everyone that there is no age barrier in the acquisition of knowledge. The senior citizen was among the doctorate degree graduate at the 16th convocation ceremony of Tai Solarin University of Education, Ijagun. Pa Onofowoko said the determination to ensure his brain is constantly put to task and inspire others made him continue without relenting.
Education to me is a therapy. If you stay on lifelong learning, all those diseases that to happen to people at old age, like you talk of Parkinson, you talk of loss of memory, will never happen to you again. Because you see, your brain is like what we call carbon granule in Nigeria. I added the generic before. Carbon granule is one microphone. If it packs, you want to talk, you editing, unless you energize it.
The Ogun State government, Tokumbo Talabi, who was excited by the feat being recorded in the state, said this has shown that one can achieve at any age with dedication and focus.
Now, as the oldest PhD holder or graduate in Nigeria all time, it just signifies that once you apply your mind to something, you can achieve it. Age is just a counter of numbers, but not what is in your head. PhD at the age of 85, it's a big deal, and we're very happy. It's an inspiration for everybody.
Of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, also congratulated the graduates for the achievement. The House of Representatives has confirmed the appointment of Olufemi Oluyede as the Chief of Army Staff. While the Constitution does not make provision for confirmation of the appointment by the House of Representatives, the lawmakers adopted a report of its ad hoc committee on the confirmation screening of the acting Chief of Army Staff and confirmed the appointment of Lieutenant General Oluyede as the Chief of Army Staff. And as we wrap up the news, let's remind you that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv, on YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website at www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogtv, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and on Google Play Store. And that's the news at noon. Many thanks for joining. Good afternoon.